How's it going, y'all? It's November 20th, and it's a really nice day out here today at Sunset Park, just kind of walking around, thinking, reflecting. And my mom passed away about a week ago, and it makes you think, makes you reflect on your own life, her life, just life in general, and trying to come to some answers, conclusions, try to figure out a way to go forward. And so here's one of my biggest things I'm dealing with right now is not being able to say goodbye properly. So when you deal with somebody on a day-to-day basis or a week-to-week basis or whatever, and me and my mom would talk once or twice a week. A lot of it had to do with NASCAR and the NFL. She was a big Broncos fan, and she was a big NASCAR fan. So we talk about that and her medical issues and blah blah blah. And every time you get off the phone with somebody or every time you say goodbye to somebody, you honestly don't know if it's going to be the last time. And you can't possibly say goodbye to somebody every time like it's the last. Like if you were leaving to go to another planet. And so, you just obviously just do your normal goodbyes. And we had a normal goodbye and it was nice. And, we were in a good place. And you can't change that. Like, you can't say goodbye the way you would want to say goodbye. You don't have that choice, And so it makes you reflect on how you treat people on a day in and day out basis, about how you treat your loved ones, how you want to be treated yourself. And my own personal reflections over the last few months have been coming to this realization that I'm really nobody. Like I'm a speck in the biggest beach of the universe, like this grain of sand. And I really don't mean anything. And I think I've come to some really peace with knowing that. Of course, I mean some things to some people, but in the big picture, like over thousands, millions, hundreds of millions of years and billions of planets and shit like that, my stupid little life does not mean squat, right? And coming to that realization, it actually makes you feel, or for me it did, so much comfort, because I'm so, me, I'm an attention whore. I like to post shit. I like to do provocative things. I like to build provocative things that stir emotions of people. I poke the bear all the time by trying to, like I'm somebody and I'm really not anybody. And I mean, god damn, dude, most of you only know me by Box Rod. They might not even know my real name. I mean, anyway, it's this persona that's been pushed forward. So it really, when somebody dies and you try to memorialize them and try to keep their memory alive. We watched this movie last week. God damn, I can't remember the name of it. And it was about somebody dying, and that the memory is what gives people immortality, is the memories. Well, even our memories die. And another Facebook or another Instagram, YouTube video I watched was about eventually every one of us becomes insignificant at some point. The memory of every one of us dies at some point. It might live for a generation or two or even three, or famous people might last longer than that. But at some point, sometime in the future, your name will be uttered one last time, or remembered by one last person. And it really makes you think about what you're going to do right now. And so through being mindful, trying to implement some Buddhist teaching and some mindfulness and stuff, is trying to live right here and right now. And to absorb every sound, every smell, every visual, every feeling on your body, every hair that blows in the wind, right here, because that's the only true thing that you have, is right here. And the regrets you have of the past, you can't do anything about them. You can't really control the future, because whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And so having regrets about not being able to say goodbye properly are futile. And Me and my mom, God, we had a great life together, man. She gave me everything I ever wanted for the most part. Made me kind of a spoiled brat at times. But I had the coolest BMX bikes, the greatest ski set, but more than the stuff that she gave me great memories. I mean, she took me down out of school to go to the Mid 400 tech inspection every year when I was a little kid. She took me to the World of Wheels shows. She took me out to the Mid 400. She was actually on the news one time because she almost got hit by a car running across a silt bed, and she lost a sandal in the silt bed and went back to get it, and this car came across the tabletop and almost ran her over. She got on the news. It was hilarious. But she would take us up to Red Rock. She'd take us to the beach. She'd take us to the mountains. Man, she took me everywhere. And she took my friends everywhere, too. And my friends loved her like crazy, too. And from my school friends to, getting the Volkswagen friends and all that kind of stuff, there was a lot of people that she impacted the life of. And she lived like really well. And, obviously she had her demons. Every one of us does. She dealt with some stuff in her life. We all do. I think at her core, she was a good person. She'd had some shitty things that happened in the past, and she had a hard time letting go of death in her own family, of her brothers and her mom and stuff. And she just could not accept death. And my mom almost died 2 years ago. And I think I became at peace with it, that it's just going to happen, how close that she came to death. And we had some pretty hard times for the next 6 months or a year for all the stuff that happened there, and there was some harsh words said and all that stuff. And my mom was the kind of person that could me and her as kids, or if I would do something stupid, or if we had some sort of an argument which wasn't the next day, it was like nothing happened. She didn't hold on to resentments for day on end, and she didn't hold stuff over my head and bring stuff up at a later date. And so I've kind of tried to implement that in my life. Just naturally, that's how I've always been, and people couldn't understand how, when I would get in a fight with somebody, if I did, which I try not to, that I don't hold on to resentments. I can kind of come and be friends with somebody pretty shortly after. Even the people that the very few people that I had really deep issues with in this life, I've kind of made amends with before they died or before they moved away or whatever. But through all of this, I would recommend, if you have loved ones, older loved ones, younger ones too, or whatever, just cherish every moment you get with them. Ask them questions about your past, or tell them some stories. Go through pictures and have them labeled to people in the back of these pictures. I've got a box of pictures. I don't know who half the people are. And, just love unconditionally, just forgive, love, and live in the moment right now. It's the only thing you have guaranteed. I'm out here, man. This is beautiful. I'm at Sunset Park. It's like 70 degrees out. It is amazing right now. One of the places my mom took me to was parks a lot, mostly Lorenzi Park. She had kind of gotten a little disabled over the last few years, so she hadn't been able to make it out to parks and to like the ocean. Think about this. There's going to be a point in your life when it's the last time you do something. And one of the things I regret not doing is taking my mom back to the ocean. Because whatever last time she was at the ocean, however many years ago, she probably didn't think that the last time she saw the ocean was going to be the last time she saw the ocean. And there's going to be a last time for a lot of things in your life that you don't know, and that's why you got to like really, really cherish everything that you do and be mindful of the time you spend doing what you're doing. And I know this sounds kind of preachy and stuff like that, and that in itself is a kind of a think that you're something. But I've had a lot of life experiences, ups and downs, and been through some challenges and stuff like that. And if I could speak to myself 20 or 30 years ago and try to get it through my head to just enjoy the shit out of life earlier and try not to sweat the small stuff and try to openly love, try not to give a shit what people think about you, like to go do yoga in the middle of a fucking park and not care how stupid you look, because that's something I would do. I would always care about how dumb I would look, so I wouldn't do things. So last month when I went to Huntington Beach, I rented a fucking surfboard down by the pier, and I walked across the goddamn beach with a rental board with no wetsuit on, and I tried to surf, and I looked like a total stooge, and I couldn't do it, but I had a blast, man. I had so much fun, and it made me feel young again, and I stopped caring that all the people watching me walking by with a rental board knew that I wasn't a real surfer. Or how dumb I looked when I couldn't put the leash on, or I tripped over the leash, or whatever. Man, death really makes you reflect upon your own life, and I hope that someday, I don't know. Well, I don't know. I hope my kids find this out earlier in life, and I try to preach it to them. I try to tell them how to be mindful and enjoy life right here, right now. Not to take anything too seriously. So, anyway, that's my 2 cents for today. I'm just out here kind of reflecting, and maybe I could help one person. Okay, I love you. Bye.